Kumusta mga kamayaman? Ako pa rin ang inyong kasama kakwentuhan katulong dito sa Hong Kong, Maria. Kasama natin ang very energetic, fit na fit sa kanyang edad, Coach Andrew. How are you today?
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for inviting me to come and have this talk today in beautiful Happy Valley.
Thank you so much for your time. Tell me more about you.
I'll start when I first came to Hong Kong in 1989.
Wow.
I wasn't expecting to stay here for so long.
Okay.
I was originally on my round the world trip. I came to see a friend from university who was teaching tennis here.
Okay.
So I was planning to stay here for a couple of months.
Right.
So I had some traveling money.
Okay.
I came to Hong Kong.
Yes.
I found Wan Chai.
Okay.
I found Lang Kwai Fong.
All right.
And then I found I needed a job.
Okay.
So 35 years I've been working in Hong Kong, and I love this city. I love the people. I cannot leave, no.
Yes. 35 years in Hong Kong. What are the rough roads that you've been through?
Wow, I've had some great times. I've had some ups and downs. Possibly for me, the toughest thing was I lost my wife when my kids were very young. So I had a 12-year-old and a 7-year-old son.
Wow.
And losing my wife, that was a pretty tough time, particularly for my two kids. So my focus was very much on trying to take care of the kids and nurturing them. But it's a very sad thing. She had suffered from postnatal depression, and then she fought depression. So sad to say, in some ways, it was not a relief. That sounds a horrible thing to say, but I think she was finally at peace, and that gave me a little bit of comfort. But from then, it's always given me a slightly different perspective about people's struggle with mental health. Yeah. And Hong Kong is a high-pressure city,
right?
And people tend not to share their emotions and share their feelings, and including myself. I tended to keep my emotions very much to myself, and it's only after a few years that I learned to open up and share and actually tell the story of what happened.
Yeah.
And I did counselling, and my boys did counselling, and I'm a great advocate and a great believer in doing counselling and receiving counselling, because I think it's a safe space where we can share our emotions, share our feelings, and help us to recover from any trauma that we go through.
Sorry for your loss from your wife, but look at you now. Like you've said, you've been through a lot. The depression and all, you've been through counseling, which is good for you and for your boys. Not many people are willing to tell everybody that, hey, I'm not okay. So many people listening right now, men and women, they might resonate from your story.
As a result of that, there's been a lot more awareness recently in the rugby community.
Yes.
And there's actually a very good initiative started by Kowloon Rugby called Are You OK?
Okay.
So like Rugby Union OK, Are You OK? Allowing men to try to come forward with mental health problems or stress issues. The rugby community, for me, has been an absolutely phenomenal sense of strength and sense of comfort. I love it as a game, but I love it more as a sense of companionship and the camaraderie that rugby provides. The brotherhood, absolutely. Or sisterhood.
Like a support.
Or
yes,
sisterhood
as well. So how did you get into rugby?
At my school back in Scotland was called George Heriot's.
Yeah.
And from the age of basically 5 or 6, we started to play rugby.
Oh, wow.
So I was a small, fat child.
Okay.
So I was put into the forwards. So I was originally a hooker, and I had my scrum cap. And I played in the forwards for a number of years.
Right.
Then I got a little bit slimmer.
Okay.
So I moved to wing forward.
Okay.
But I didn't like tackling, so I was no good as a forward. And I was quite quick, so they then put me to the backs. So I was a centre and a winger. And ever since then, I've been playing in the backs for my rugby clubs.
So when you come here to Hong Kong, how did you find the position to be a coach for the domestic helpers?
Well, that was something very unexpected. I was actually approached out of the blue by a phenomenal lady called Agnes.
Agnes!
Agnes, we love you, Agnes, we love you. She said, hi, Andrew, I'm Agnes. I'm with the Domestic Helper Rugby for Good program.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a coach. Would you be interested?
She's awesome. Don't tell her.
Yeah,
She's
don't tell her. Yeah,
awesome.
And I thought, I have no idea. I haven't really done much. I've coached mini rugby. I'd never really coached adults.
Right.
And I'd never played touch rugby. So for me, it was a big learning curve, and I was initially a little bit reluctant.
Okay.
But I thought, okay, why not? Life is short.
Yes.
Let's go and have a go. Let's see what it's like. So the first session, there was 5 girls and myself, and we played out at Tong Chung in the YMCA.
Yes. Dolphins.
The Dolphins, yes.
Yay!
The Tong Chung Dolphins, now the Hong Kong Scottish Dolphins.
How did they do it? Is it like this?
Dolphins,
Yes,
Dolphins.
They're new, but they're strong.
We've got a really good core of girls, and this year's been particularly exciting for me because this is the first time we got promoted to the Pool A. So we now have two teams. We have an A team and a B team. And the way the girls both support each other as one club, I find that so rewarding. I was worried there might be some jealousies that I'm in the A team and I'm in the B team.
Sometimes.
Yes, but honestly, the girls have been very, very good.
This exciting new job for you, you're enjoying it, as I can see in your face. Now look at you, you're this fit, you look very young, so happy. He is a cancer survivor.
My little cancer story, it started at the end of 2018. I had a small lump on my neck.
Right, okay.
And I went to the doctor, and obviously Hong Kong doctors, have antibiotics. So
Right
they
away.
gave me antibiotics. That did not have any impact. The lump was still there.
Okay.
So I then went back.
Is it painful?
There was no pain whatsoever. It was just a very small lump, just like maybe like about half a table tennis ball.
Okay.
Just there. And actually, I was reluctant to go and get it checked. But my girlfriend was pushing me, go and get checked, go and check. It's very important, it's very important. And with hindsight, 100%, that's very important. If you have any sign or symptom that's not right, I would absolutely recommend, if you're not sure, go speak to your doctor.
Right.
Because my girlfriend asked me to go, the antibiotics didn't work, so they did a small biopsy. They stuck a needle in and took some fluid.
Yeah.
And I just started a new job working for an IT company, working inside Cathay Pacific.
Okay.
And it was 3 weeks into my job. On a Monday morning, I got a phone call saying, "Hello, is this Mr. Lupton?" I said, "Yes. This is North Atlanta Hospital. Can you come in immediately?" I was, actually, I'm very busy today. I've got lots of meetings. I've just started a new job. They said, "No, you have to come in today." So I had to ask my boss, sorry, that was the hospital.
Okay.
So I went to the hospital. I sat, waited for a while, as you do in Hong Kong hospitals.
Yeah, of course.
And then, yes, and then I spoke to the doctor, and he was very calm, and he said, "We've done the biopsy. You have cancer. And we don't think this is the main tumour. We think there's another tumour, and this is a secondary tumour."
Oh, wow.
So that was a bit of a shock.
Yes, of course.
But it was funny. Maybe I was just numb, but I just thought, okay, I've got cancer. I'm going to fight this. You know, I know we can beat cancer. There's lots of treatments, lots of therapies, and maybe it didn't really sink in for a while. So as a result of that, I had to go and do some tests. I had to do an MRI scan, a CAT scan, and that was one of the worst things for me because I suffer from claustrophobia, small spaces, and as part of the testing, I had to get clamped onto this board. My face was pinned down, and then they pumped through some radioactive dye to try and find out where the main tumour was.
Right.
And that was one of the most horrible experiences. I had 45 minutes being basically pinned down, breathing through a small tube inside this big CAT scan. And that's one of my memories. And when I've spoken to people about it, when they're going through it, that's one of the things, just to make them aware of it, because that was a very uncomfortable experience, because I didn't know. And the doctors here are very good doctors. They tend not to have the best bedside manner. They're not very good at telling you what's happening and telling you about the journey that you're going on. So one of the things I like to try to help now with people is just sharing my experiences about my journey. So if people, and I found out that I've got 3 friends who've gone through a similar journey as mine, and I've been able to help to talk to them and give them the benefit of my experience.
Say thank you to the girlfriend because she's an angel, if not because of her early detection. Always, ladies and gentlemen, early detection can save a life. You said you were numb and shocked, and I can understand that. After that moment, did you feel like, oh no, because some people will be in denial, like, no, I'm healthy, I'm okay, no pain at all. Did you consider getting into a secondary opinion?
I spoke with 2 doctors because it's not that I didn't believe the doctor, but I just wanted to get advice as to what they were doing.
Okay.
And they had several options of treatments. One would be to have one single operation to take away the tumour and to take away the lymph nodes. I had to have 3 lymph nodes removed. The other doctor suggested to do it as 2 operations, one to take away the tumour, and then the secondary operation to take away the lymph nodes. And after reading about some information on the internet, I decided, in discussion with the doctor, to do the 2 operations. And the first operation was what they called a robot operation. They put this metal device in my mouth, and the doctor used some implements just to cut away the back of my tongue and part of my throat at the back where the tumour was.
Oh my God.
So that was one of the reasons I lost a little bit of weight, because I was not able to eat. And that was done in the Queen Mary through the Public Health Service. And it was, I have nothing but praise for the doctors and the staff there. It was phenomenal. The treatment I got was very, very good.
How long is the operation, the duration?
The first operation was about 4 hours, so it wasn't that long an operation, because they basically knew where the tumour was, and it was quite a small but an aggressive tumour. So they used this robot device to cut away the back of my tongue, and that's why sometimes my voice sounds a bit strange. But that actually went very well, and I was very pleased with that. I then, 1 month later, had the second operation, where they basically cut me from behind the ear all the way around here. And you talk about life-changing moments. It was before the operation, I was given a briefing by the surgeon, and the surgeon was saying, "No, this lymph node is connected to your nervous system. You might be paralyzed down here. This lymph node is very close to your artery. You might bleed to death. And this lymph node is very close to your vocal box. You might lose the speech." And I was thinking, "Oh, thanks, doctor. You got me really worried." But obviously doctors have to tell you the realistic outcomes. But the words that struck me in my whole journey, he asked me, "Have you made a will?" And I went, "Sorry?" He said, "Have you made a will?" He said, "We recommend people who are having this operation to have a will. There is a chance he won't come through." And for me, that was oh my God.
It's a blow.
I may only have 3 days left to live. And from then, it was like, okay, if I'm not going to be here, it was strange, what's my legacy? What people are going to think of me as a person? It was really suddenly that my whole perspective changed. So at that moment, I made a promise to myself that I'll try to be a better person. So if I came through, I wanted to give back. I felt I was going to be given a second chance at life after that operation. So I want to try to become a better person, give a little bit more back to my rugby community, to people in general. But that for me was my moment in my life when I thought I might not be here for 3 days.
You're very brave, but how does your family took it?
I tried to protect my 2 boys. I didn't really tell. I said I'm going to make a will, but I tried to make a joke of it. I did, because I didn't want my 2 boys to worry about that. My girlfriend I shared, and we helped sort of drop the will together, which I still have. But again, you talk about being brave. It's just dealing with what's in front of you.
That is his way of saying you might not survive.
I felt worried in case I wasn't going to be here, about the family. It's fine. I didn't really worry so much about me. I thought, if I'm not here, I'm not here. That's all it is. It's what's left behind. That was my concern. But fortunately, the second operation was also successful. There were a few minor complications, and I had to stay in hospital a little bit longer. And again, what some of the moments that have left the memory was I had to be fed intravenously for about 2 weeks. Liquid into my veins, and they kept running out of veins, so they had to try and find different veins to put the food into. And it's a small thing, but they kept taping the tubes and the needles into my arm, and my arms are a little bit hairy, and I came to hate having the tape pulled off of my hair.
Pain.
So my one recommendation, if you're doing that, shave your arms so you don't get the hairs pulled off by the tapes, because that's one of the things I found really challenging.
It's so
a silly small thing, really.
While in that situation, is there any why me? Why am I going through this?
It just happens. Why do some young kids get cancer at 5 or 6? Why do people who smoke and eat unhealthily live to 100? It's just, I don't know exactly the reasons why. But both my father and my uncle both died of prostate cancer.
Okay.
So possibly there's
You have the genes.
there's possibly some genetic factor inside my system, and I do also get myself checked regularly for prostate cancer. That's also very important for men as well.
Yes, over 40 years old. Over 40 years old, you know, you need to go and check for men and see your doctor.
Sure, with the medicine and the treatments, if it's caught early, they can do so much.
Yes.
If you don't get it early, then the cancer can spread, and that's when the problems start. So early detection, early cure, really.
Since very young, you've been into sports.
I wasn't that slim.
Oh.
I was almost 200 pounds.
Okay, a little bit chubby.
I was very chubby. I probably drank too much.
Okay.
I ate too many late night kebabs.
Okay.
Potatoes. My diet wasn't very good. But that's one thing I've made a change. I've cut down the carbohydrates. I'm very conscious about what I put into my body. I still love a beer, and I'll let myself have the occasional beer. Not too many. But I also take some mushroom powder, some turkey tail mushroom powder. Again, I've done a lot of research into supplements. I take vitamin C, I take vitamin D. I also take magnesium malate, which is a form of magnesium supplement, which again is very, very positive for your system. The other major thing I cut out is sugar.
Okay.
Sugar is just a toxin.
Okay.
Coca-Cola, sweets, milk chocolates, all these lovely things I used to enjoy. I'll take dark chocolate, 90%, which is a little bit bitter, but it's quite healthy. I try and take no soft drinks. And just no more sugar in my coffee. So I try and take my coffee black now.
Okay.
And basically, I'm just a lot more conscious as to what I'm putting into my system.
So you watch what you eat.
I watch what I eat. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It came to you like, did you look back and say, did my lifestyle affect what I am having right now?
Absolutely, that was a question, because you're always wondering. Although I'm not particularly religious, of why, or what caused it, because it doesn't just happen. There's normally some trigger, whether it's a genetic trigger or whether it is a lifestyle choice. Like people who smoke, you're going to get your chance of cancer going up tenfold, 20-fold by taking smoke into your lungs. It's a dangerous thing to do. It's a stupid thing to do, really. So maybe I'd been taking something into my throat that was causing the cancer.
Lifestyle and then genetic. What else do you think triggered your cancer?
Well, actually, one of the things was they found out it was caused by a viral infection, HPV. I spoke to doctors. The doctors say you had the virus. That's how it manifested. How long it had been there, they could not tell me.
How old are you when you were diagnosed with the big C?
I'm 61 now, so it was 2019. So that's 5 years ago. So that's 56.
Let's just say you're so young.
Yes,
So.
21 and a bit.
Yeah, because they say, according to research that I've read, men over 40 are more prone to this kinds of disease. Research says is that 40 and above, they are more prone to it.
Yeah, when we get older, our body's maybe not as strong as it used to be. And probably I wasn't fit at that point, really. I wasn't playing much rugby. I was spending too much time in the bar rather than in the park running around.
Having the big C is not just physically and mentally, emotionally draining, but of course, pocket-wise. And of course, insurance can help and everything, but still can hurt the family, right?
Yes. Again, one of the things why I love Hong Kong, ironically, I was still in my probation period at my work, so I didn't actually have any medical insurance at all.
Oh.
So I was completely reliant on the local health service. So I have nothing but praise for the functionality. Again, the individual care might be a little bit lacking sometimes. Quite often you see different doctors, different nurses, they would refer to the file. So you didn't have that personal touch.
Yes.
But I look at it, the operations, the radiation all went well. I'm still here. So I've got nothing but praise. And in terms of finances, it was remarkably inexpensive. I was paying like $100 and something a day just to be in the hospital.
So the system is so good.
The system here is absolutely fabulous. A friend of mine who went through private, which basically meant he did it in one of the hospitals down in Aberdeen. He actually had exactly the same surgeon that did my operation. But the operation was done, and his, without mentioning his name,
yes, of course,
the cost of his was 800,000 Hong Kong dollars.
In your case?
In my case, with all my complications, it was about 4,000 Hong Kong dollars.
Good for you. The system works.
Thank you, Hong Kong
Thank you
Hospital
so
Authority.
much.
Thank you, Hong Kong government. Really
That
phenomenal
is
service.
one of the things that
Yeah.
we need to thank for.
Yes.
How did the children deal with it? That you have two boys.
My oldest is now just into his 30s, and my youngest in 20s. So they're both in their 20s.
Okay.
And again, I consciously tried to shield them from the harshness. My youngest son was in Scotland at the time.
Okay.
So basically, we talk on WhatsApp and video and give them updates. My elder son, who was here in Hong Kong, was basically helping. He'd come to see me in the hospital, and we would just chat, and we just sort of managed it by trying to be open and honest about the situation. But I think that's while I was trying to protect them.
Yes.
I didn't want to give them any disinformation. I needed to let them know the facts and potentially how serious it could be, because I think that would have been wrong for me to give them false information. But I felt positive, and I hope that my message to them was also positive as well.
Is there any moment in those journey that you take it back and then say, "Oh, I might not make it"?
I cannot say no. There was never a moment I thought I'm not going to make this. No.
I can get through this.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
That's good for you. I think one of the good mindset of a patient also is like that. You really need to show strength because the people surrounding you might feel so bad, right? And it makes you weaken as well.
Yes.
So I think you need to tell everybody to give that energy, be loopy.
Yeah, I genuinely believe from my heart that if you have belief in a positive outcome, you're much more likely to get a positive outcome. And one of the techniques I used, because when I was doing the radiation treatment, I hated having my face clamped.
Yeah.
And you're in this machine, and there are these strange noises and clunks and thuds and weird sounds. So what I had to do to take myself away from the discomfort of being clamped, I pretended I was in a Space Invaders game.
Oh my God.
So that I was basically driving my ship through my veins, and I was killing all the cancer cells. I was imagining me blowing up all the cancer cells, all the cells. So that took me away from that situation of me lying helplessly on a plank, surrounded by a machine. So that was one technique. The other technique I used was also just to pretend I was in a golf course.
Okay.
I would just imagine, okay, I'm on the first tee, I'm putting my ball down, and I would just try and take my mind away from the discomfort of where I was, and imagine I'm in fresh air, blue skies, and I was also playing very good golf in my imagination.
I think being into sports helps you a lot as well.
Absolutely, 100%, yes. And from a support network as well. I talked about the rugby support network.
Yes.
I had so many good friends coming to visit me in hospital, and what I loved about that was they weren't, "Are you okay? How are you doing?" They would sit there, particularly the first operation, when I had my tongue cut away. I couldn't eat. So 2 or 3 friends came. They'd just been to Marks and Spencer's. I love Scotch eggs. I love sausage rolls. So my very good friends sat at the end of my bed eating Scotch eggs and sausage rolls in front of me. You know who you are.
Wonderful.
And I wasn't able to eat, but I loved it because that's what I needed.
You can smell it.
Absolutely, yeah. I needed people just to.
What a torture.
Yes, to torture me, but to make fun of me, and I think that's important. Because for me, are you okay? How are you feeling?
You feel pity.
Yes, it's a downer. I want someone just to treat me normally, treat me like the idiot I normally am, and just make fun of me. So
that's what they do.
That's what I do, and I've had a couple of friends going to hospital, and I've done the same thing back to them.
Okay. So. Even.
Exactly. Yes.
We will not tell your name,
yes.
but you know who you are. So going through all of those, it is very important, the support of your family and friends, right?
Absolutely, yes. Yes. Visiting hours in hospital were, because the public hospital were quite restricted, I waited for those moments for people to come and say hi.
Yes.
Because you're basically stuck in the bed. In the public hospital, there's not television. Yes. It's not the best environment. I absolutely treasured people coming to visit me. And I think that if anybody has friends that are in hospital, go and visit them. Go and say hi. Just show support. A lot of people think, oh, maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe I'll be inconvenienced. Go and speak to your friends. Yes, keep that contact going, and don't treat them as if anything's changed. Just treat them the same as you were before.
So like you mean when we go there and visit them, we don't feel sorry for them?
As if you were just visiting them for a cup of tea. If you're meeting them in a coffee shop, or if you're meeting in the bar, just treat them exactly the same.
So they don't feel pity.
Yes, but again, you maybe have to see it. Maybe that person's feeling down that day. Maybe you can't be too harsh. Maybe you need to be a little bit gentle, a little bit aware of their situation. But wherever possible, just treat them exactly the same as you normally would.
So moral support, visitation to any friend who is in the hospital, it helps a lot.
Yes, and healthy food.
Eat beside them. Let them smell their favorite food. Okay. Did you feel like you get closer to your friends and family because of that experience?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. I mean, I would say particularly the friends that came to visit me. Again, I really appreciated that. But messages, support from friends, that meant an awful lot to me. Cards. But absolutely, because and in many ways, I think it's harder for other people because they don't really know how I'm feeling. And there's not much they can do. They want to help, but really, only the doctors can help, the medicine can help, the treatment can help. And me as a patient, I have to help myself. I'm the one that has to take ownership of my disease, my situation, and how am I going to get through it. So it's sometimes harder for people to know how to treat you and how to behave.
Of course.
But, so that's my advice: is just go there, chat, be normal, and build that or strengthen those bonds that you have with people.
I think that's a very good advice also, to give them more strength.
You're looking at them as that person that you know, not as a patient.
Yes.
You're coming to see your friend, you're coming to see your family member as they are, not because of the situation.
Right.
You're coming because of the person, not the disease.
Yes.
So I would always focus on how your relationship was with that person. Just keep that as natural as possible.
Okay. So after all of those experiences, Coach, when you get through, you're all clear, hurrah, you're here. So what's the best part of getting cleared of the big C?
Well, that's one of the things. I spoke to doctors. They never actually said you're clear. I know sometimes in America they ring a bell if you're cancer clear. I get regular checkups. It used to be every 3 months. It was 6 months. It's now going to yearly. So there's always that potential chance that it might be coming back. So that's something I'm aware of. But when I finished the radiation, that was a very good feeling. Although the radiation was quite tough as well. My skin was badly burned. I lost some hair, and I was burned internally. So it was very hard to eat and drink. And the cumulative effect of the radiation, even though the treatment had stopped for 2 weeks, later it kept getting worse and worse because of just the build-up of radiation in the system. But then your body very quickly recovers. And again, I ate good food. I followed the doctor's advice for nutrition, taking the supplements that they recommended. And it was amazing how quickly I felt back to normal, if I'm ever normal.
Look good, healthy, that killer smile for a close-up commercial. Aside from those supplements, aside from getting into sports, I see you motivate a lot of women, a lot of ladies out there, challenging them. Coracha is the one. Jessica, she's doing it on the stones.
Burpees are horrible, but they're awesome. So anybody out there, I'd recommend 30 days of 30 burpees.
Oh my God.
Great way to keep fit.
Okay, I'll take the challenge.
Yes.
Personal.
Excellent. All right, we have that on camera. We have that on camera.
I'll take that personally. If there's any more secret that you want to tell them to stay looking young and fit, please go.
The secret sauce. If you're struggling with your mental health or your health, talk to somebody. People should have the stigma about, I shouldn't speak to you. I don't want to burden you with my problems. But actually, I've had people come to talk to me, and I'm more than happy that they feel that they can come to me and trust me to share their pain or their experience. I'm not a professional counsellor by any way, but sometimes just being someone to listen to and let them talk, and then just try to give them support, help them find their way, because everybody's different and how they manage it. But again, I would say wherever possible, stay positive. Always try and look on the glass half full side of things. And I say I'm involved with a couple of support groups with people and people I'm currently mentoring. my friend down in the Philippines. I've talked and I've managed to share some information with him, and I hope that's helped his journey. And if anybody is watching this video and wants to reach out, direct me or contact me directly or contact Maria, I'm more than happy to speak. There's some great organizations in Hong Kong, the Cancer Society, for ladies in particular. There's Phenomenally Pink.
Yes.
Phenomenally Pink are a great organization that support women with potential cancer problems or cancer issues. Reach out, speak to people. Don't be afraid that you've got some terrible disease. You're facing a problem. People are here to help and support, and Hong Kong is probably one of the best places actually to have this horrible disease.
The community is so helpful.
Absolutely.
There are so many organizations, non-government organizations, who are willing to take you in. Phenomenally Pink is one. They have this regularly check your boobs.
Yes.
They're always advertised about that, and it's for free for domestic helpers. Please avail for that. Just want to go back a little bit with what you've mentioned for men's mental health. And unlike you are very open. I know some men, they're very close. They don't want to get close to their territory, whether how are you good or not. How are we going to open up for these kinds of people if they don't want to get help?
That's a very good question. And actually coming from Scotland, Scottish people tend to be quite reserved and quite insular. We're not that open and not that sharing traditionally. And it is a change of mindset. But I think programs like November, Are You Okay, Rugby One, that Kowloon Rugby instigated, it's just letting more people know it's okay not to be okay.
Yes.
And then there's obviously that certain high profile people like Robin Williams or other people who sadly took their own lives because they didn't have somebody to talk to, or they felt they couldn't share. So if you are feeling any stress, any insecurity, talk. Anybody. There's the Samaritans. If you have a friend, just call your friend. It's like going to the dentist. It's horrible. You don't want to go to the dentist, but once you're there, you can get help. You can be open.
Take me back a little bit to the project of the rugby, which is the project called Are You Okay? Tell me more about it.
That's a very simple question. It was started by Kowloon Rugby. They've got little badges, little lapel badges.
Yes.
And all it is if there's somebody you normally hear and you speak with and maybe they're a bit quiet, they're maybe not so social, just reach out to them. Hey mate, how are you doing? Haven't heard from you in a while. Just make that contact. Make sure your friends are okay. If somebody, you notice is suddenly sort of dropping away from the social circle, just reach out. Don't say anything too heavy. Just say, hi, let's catch up for a coffee. Let's go out for a run. Just make that little contact and keep that connection going. Because I think keeping the connections helps people just to stay together.
Just to let them know that somebody is checking on them, somebody is looking after them, and who knows, right?
Yes.
It's a big step to just say, I'm here. You can count on me.
Yes, and you don't necessarily, are you okay? It's just say, hi, I missed your banter, I missed your conversation. So don't necessarily go prying, but just let them know that they're valued and you want to spend time with them. As simple as that. That's the very simple premise of Are You Okay? Just checking on your mates, really.
Okay, so that is a very good project. It started from the colon race. Just tell anybody kung may naiisip kayo na mga kaibigan who are, nag-slide na and isolating themselves, just say, hi, how are you? It will make a difference because they will feel valued, they will feel seen, they will feel important, right?
Yes, and I can attest to that, being in hospital, when you can't go and visit people. And I love people contacting me and coming to visit me. So I can experience it from both sides. Right. So people reach out and just say hi. It's a wonderful thing.
I don't want to end this conversation, ladies and gentlemen, but we need to because it's getting dark. I am lifted. I am revived. I've learned a lot from you.
Just love being in your company.
Thank
it's great fun. Yes, you're awesome. Also want to thank you. This channel is amazing. all the interviews,
you
all
so
the work
much.
you do is phenomenal, really.
Thank you so
Yes,
much,
what you
Coach.
do, bringing people together and helping share that knowledge and information with people. So thank you.
No, thank you for your time. Any parting words to our viewers?
Just go out, enjoy life, speak to your friends, do what you think's the right thing to do by yourself, for your family and your friends, and try and do it with a smile. If we can smile, the world's a much better place.
Ako pa rin ang inyong kasama kakwentuhan katulong dito sa Hong Kong, Maria. Masalama at mabuhay!